If you or a family member have been hurt because of the careless actions of another person, call Walker Texas Lawyer. They'll work to get you the financial compensation and justice you deserve. They have 40 years of experience, and you don't pay unless you win. Call 713-881-9653 today for a consultation or go to walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk, you me funny lad.
Grammy Award winner Maya joins us.
How are you?
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat, Brad Gilmore.
And she joins me right now. We're so excited to have her back talking about Live Wire, long-winded short stories available on paperback now. The New York Times best-selling author and host of Live with Kelly and Mark joins us right now. Kelly Ripa. Kelly, how you doing?
Thank you so much for that intro, Brad. That was amazing. I want to make that my outgoing voice recording for my phone.
Well, you know what? We'll make it happen. Congratulations on the book. Again, now in paperback. It did so well last year when it came out on hardback. Now people can get it in paperback. What has the feedback been like for you? And if you had any, interesting fan interactions when, out here promoting the book?
I've got to tell you that I was so, I think I mentioned this before, that I was so terrified to go on this book tour that I went on last year. It was truly, I didn't think I suffered from anxiety until I went on a book tour. And the feedback was so overwhelming and positive and just absolutely humbling. All of the words that I usually detest when people say, but it was truly all of that, and what struck me was how relatable it was. And I didn't like set out to write a relatable book. I just set out to tell a few stories that I always find humoring, that I tell at dinner parties, that sort of thing. And the overwhelming response was, oh, I felt like you and I were having coffee together and you were just telling me stories. And it was that kind of camaraderie that I found in the people that read the book over and over again. It was sort of that same thematic, oh my gosh, that happened to me, or oh my gosh, I thought I was the only one, or, so it was a lot of that. And I just felt very, like I had tapped into something.
I think you absolutely did. There's a passage in your book that says, and that is my tendency to accommodate others around me to my own detriment, pushing aside my own needs for the comfort and happiness of others for the sake of harmony. I think that when I read that is something that I related to, always trying to be the mediator, trying to be the people pleaser, in lack of a better term. I'm sure those are the things that people came up to you and really mentioned. And do you, I guess, when writing this book and now putting it on paper and realizing these things about yourself, have you taken steps to perhaps not put other people's happiness before your own?
Well, the best thing I ever did was I went to therapy and I sat down and I started sort of telling my life story to a complete stranger. And she pointed out to me, you are constantly worrying about pleasing other people, and it sounds like you're biting off more than you can chew all the time. And I said, yes. And she said, the word no is a complete sentence, and you should feel free to use that word as often as often as you feel that you need to. So if you don't want to do something or it doesn't fit into your schedule, the word no is there for a reason. So just say, no, that doesn't work for me. And you don't have to apologize for it. And it is okay to not accommodate everyone's request all the time. And that really sort of reframed the way I thought about my life, my career, my work schedule, my parenting schedule, and how I was trying to be everywhere all the time at the same time. And I highly, Brad, I highly recommend using the word no liberally and not apologizing for it. It's okay to say that no, that doesn't fit into your schedule, and no, that doesn't work for you. It's perfectly fine.
Well, I'm going to take it from Kelly Ripa, and I'm taking it to the bank. I'm going to say no, and if anybody asks me why, I say Kelly Ripa told me to say it, so I'm saying it now.
I'll give you a doctor's note.
Thank you. I like the prescription for the word no. When writing the book, I mean, everyone obviously loves you on live with Now Kelly and Mark, and you're in front of a live audience. So if you hit a joke there live, you get that instant feedback from the audience. They tell you if it's funny or not, and it gives you that charge, it gives you that energy, that adrenaline. When you're writing a joke or you're writing a humorous story, you don't get that instant feedback. And I just wonder, when putting this together, did you ever question, like, is this funny? Is this a good joke? I'm not sure.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I still, even now that it's in its paperback edition, I keep saying to myself, will anybody buy this? Will anybody read this? Does anybody care? Who cares? I mean, I am the biggest self-doubter on planet Earth. And so as I was recording the audiobook, as I was recording it, I was in my head rewriting it, saying, I should have written this instead because it's funnier this way. I mean, this is something that will never go to bed for me. And I am constantly at war with myself over what is funny, what is humorous, is this relatable, is this something somebody will get. I have to say that Mark Consuelos, my beloved husband and co-host at work, really was my other voice of sanity, because I sent him every single chapter before I sent it to anyone. I sent him every chapter, and he is so brutally honest with me that he was like, I think you should keep going at this chapter, or that one I'm just not getting. I don't get it. It's not flowing for me. Like, he would give me brutal notes. So, I mean, my editor called him my pre-editor, because the chapters were so clean by the time she had gotten the chapters that she really could not believe how many times I spent writing each chapter before I sent it to her.
It is nice to have that partner. We're talking to Kelly Ripa, Livewire, long-winded short stories. The paperback is available right now. You mentioned your husband. I have time for one last question for you. You mentioned your husband, and you're working with him now on the television show, as well as y'all are raising a family. Y'all are life partners. My wife and I have a great relationship, but we have trouble becoming, great pickleball duos. Like, we're still trying to manage that. How do you manage being, not only the relationship, but live on television and working together?
Let me tell you something. Pickleball is way harder than live TV. We could never be pickleball partners. We would murder each other. So if you can play pickleball together, you should get a talk show. That's all I'm going to say.
I love it. Well, Kelly Ripa, thank you for joining us as always. It's a pleasure to speak to you. Livewire, long-winded short stories. The New York Times bestseller is available right now in paperback. Kelly, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks, Brad. Really appreciate it.
Hurry up, tape running out.